Aloha and good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to This Is Now. I'm Dylan Ancheta in the H&N Digital Center. We want to begin with some breaking news. The shelter-in-place order that was issued for residents in southern Maine has been lifted, but law enforcement officials continue their search for the U.S. Army reservist who police say shot and killed 18 people Wednesday night. Laura Hafley has more on the ongoing manhunt.
Heavily armed police are scouring the woods in southern Maine, and divers are searching the Androscoggin River. Part of their focus, a boat dock, where they found this car belonging to Robert Card, the suspect in Wednesday night's mass shooting in nearby Lewiston.
The river is a big piece of this. The car was located there. Evidence is located in the vehicle or right there along the shores of the Androscoggin River.
A law enforcement source tells CBS News the evidence includes a firearm that Card legally purchased. Law enforcement sources say he had access to numerous other guns, and they're tracing each shell casing found at the scenes. Police say Card opened fire inside a bowling alley and restaurant using a semi-automatic assault rifle with an extended magazine and a scope. Last night, SWAT teams, K-9 units, and helicopters searched Card's hometown of Bowdoin, focusing on one home in particular. Law enforcement sources tell the Associated Press they found a suicide note and Card's cell phone. Some of the 18 victims have been identified. 13 were wounded, 3 critically.
Often these rounds will hit bone, shatter bone, and the bone itself becomes a missile or a projectile.
According to the Gun Violence Archive, there have been 567 mass shootings in the U.S. this year. Laura Hafley, CBS News, Lisbon, Maine.
And we're starting to learn more about the victims of this devastating mass shooting. CNN's Jason Carroll has new details about the lives that were cut short.
The magnitude of what happened coming into focus as authorities remove the bodies of some of those who perished in the shooting at the Schmengi's Bar and Grill restaurant. Police say of those who were killed, 8 died at the bar, including Leroy Walker's son, Joseph. His father says his son died when he tried to stop the shooter.
My son actually, because he's manager of the bar and everything else, picked up a butcher knife and went after the gunman to try to stop him from killing other people. And that's when he shot my son to death, trying to save some more lives that he ended up losing his life.
40-year-old Brian McFarlane, also identified as one of the victims. His sister says he was deaf and was there for a regular Wednesday night gathering of members of the deaf community and a cornhole tournament. His sister, who is also deaf, says his death is deeply felt from her family and the community.
I want people to know how big this has impacted the deaf community, that, we've lost 4 community members, not only just Brian, but we've lost 3 other friends as well from this tragic incident in this community. It's a huge loss.
Another tournament participant, 39-year-old Peyton Brewer Ross, was killed. His brother confirmed to CNN he leaves behind a 2-year-old daughter, Elle. Also killed, 42-year-old father of 5, Arthur Artie Strout. His father confirmed his death, saying they were together right before the attack.
The crazy part is just being with him just before it happened. 10 minutes before it happened.
Minutes away from the bar, more victims and more tragedy. Police say 7 were killed at Just-in-Time Recreation Center, a bowling alley in Lewiston, including its manager, 34-year-old Tommy Conran. He is survived by his 9-year-old daughter. Also killed, 53-year-old Tricia Asselin.
We were bowling, and we heard a big bang, and I wasn't sure what it was till I heard another shot. And we just kept running and running and running. And I kept asking, where's my sister? Where's my sister? Till like 2 hours later, somebody came out and said that she called 911. And when she called 911 to save everybody, she lost her life because of it. My sister's a hero.
Turning now to local news, Honolulu firefighters responded to a building fire in Kalihi earlier this morning. It happened near the corner of Nimitz Highway and Mokuakea Street. Fire crews issued an alert around 12:40. They fully extinguished the fire in about 45 minutes. Both Mokuakea Street and Nimitz Highway eastbound lanes were closed. They have since reopened. No injuries were reported. The cause of the fire is not yet known at this time. On Hawaii Island, a popular community event is in jeopardy. The KWXX Ho'olauleo was set to take place on January 20th, but event organizers announced this week that their permits for the large event were denied by the Hawaii County Police Department. Chris Leonard, president and general manager of New West Broadcasting Corporation, founded the event with his father in 1993. Over the years, it's grown to feature the biggest names in island music. The festival encompasses Hilo town with 4 stages, and thousands flock to the area. Vendors also see a much-needed economic boost from the free event. The county cited manpower and safety concerns, but reiterated their support for the event.
Our administration is unequivocally committed to having the Ho'olaulea in 2024. And we never were against it. There were just issues that needed to be addressed, and we're working towards them. We believe that with continued negotiation, continued engagement with the organizer and our police officers, that we're going to find a path forward that allows us to have this family-friendly event that has really become a pillar and staple of our Hilo community.
It's really a privilege. It's a free event that our community puts on. And if we don't know how to really act, it kind of will be taken away from us, you know? And it's kind of a wake-up call, like, wake up, you got to be better, you know?
It's that kind of event where it's like, super family oriented, everybody comes across, from all the islands and even from the mainland too.
Negotiations to hold the Ho'olaulea are ongoing. Organizers are hopeful it will still be able to take place as planned. Well, the Hawaii Supreme Court has made a historic decision to resolve a single complaint that held up a multi-million-dollar Hawaiian homelands waitlist settlement. Our Mahealani Richardson explains how much and when clients in the Kalima settlement can start to see their money.
Attorneys say waitlisters who are still alive and part of the settlement should be getting checks in a couple of weeks.
When I got the word, I said, thank you, Jesus. And I just was like overwhelmed, tears of joy, like how long we waited.
72-year-old Rosalind Haunani-Tam of Eva Beach says she's been on the wait list since 1984.
I am receiving $152,000, and I just want us to give all the glory and honor to our Lord.
We're not subservient. We're not stupid anymore.
That was back in 2014. Today, 71-year-old Leona Kalima of Waimanalo is the lead plaintiff in Kalima versus Department of Hawaiian Homelands. And she told Hawaii News Now she's ecstatic.
I'm over the moon because we've been waiting 24 years. So I am so happy and grateful to the Hawaii Supreme Court.
The $328 million Kalima settlement, which was decades in the making, was stalled by a single person last week who complained that his claim was denied. Today, the Supreme Court ruled that Ricky Rivera was not entitled to receive compensation.
My department and I are very happy that this case has come to a conclusion finally after so many years. And we're very pleased that the Supreme Court's decision was so clear.
They recognized that this was an issue of tremendous public importance, that thousands of individuals and more than thousands of family members of the deceased class members who have been waiting for this compensation for over 23 years are now going to be compensated.
Attorneys say the settlement payments will range from very small to more than $100,000. There are 2,515 plaintiffs. 60% are still alive and most in their 70s. 40% are deceased. Their families must go through probate court to get the money. For the living, checks are expected in a couple weeks, with priority for those impacted by the Maui wildfires.
We've asked the claims administrator to identify class members within the zip codes that were affected by the fires, and those will be some of the first checks that are going out.
Now, attorneys say the money has to be transferred from the court account to the claims administrator, which prepares the check, so it'll take a couple weeks to arrive. Mahialani Richardson, Hawaii News Now.
The Israeli military says it's expanding its operation tonight, a signal of the threatened ground invasion. CBS's Tina Kraus has the latest from Tel Aviv, where people are still awaiting the return of more than 200 hostages.
Explosions punctuate the night sky along Israel's border with Gaza, as an Israeli military spokesman promises an expanding ground operation Friday night. 2 U.S. officials tell CBS News that announcement appears to be a rolling start to the ground invasion. Israeli soldiers conducted a targeted raid in the southern Gaza Strip overnight, with Navy vessels and aircraft striking suspected Hamas military compounds. Come daylight, giant plumes of black smoke were seen over the Gaza skyline. Day 21 of this war, and the destruction seems endless. An Israeli airstrike hit a residential building Friday. This Palestinian woman said she was sitting with children drinking tea when it happened. An aid convoy from the International Committee of the Red Cross finally moved from Egypt through the Rafah crossing into Gaza.
We also have a team of specialists who are about to enter, including surgeons and other medical teams.
Nearly 3 weeks after the Hamas massacre, this Shabbat table set in Tel Aviv remains empty. Each of these seats represents one of the more than 200 people still held captive in Gaza.
I'm hoping that the hostages will come back. I hope very soon.
Volunteers handed out yellow ribbons expressing solidarity with the hostages. Israelis we spoke with say everyone feels the pain from the October 7th attack.
Everyone in Israel know people who knows people that are kidnapped or murder.
Nothing's going to stop this other than peace.
A peace that seems very far out of reach. Tina Kraus, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
In political news, GOP Congressman George Santos pleaded not guilty in federal court in Washington, D.C. Friday. The 10 new charges against a representative from Long Island, New York, allege that he stole donors' identities and ran up thousands of dollars in fraudulent charges on their credit cards, among other offenses. The judge set a trial date for next September. This fresh round of charges brings the total number of counts against Santos to 23. In May, Santos pleaded not guilty to 13 federal charges, including wire fraud, money laundering, theft of public funds, and false statements to the U.S. House of Representatives. Several New York Republicans filed a resolution on Thursday to expel Santos from Congress. We go to the latest now on Maui, where the county is lifting restrictions in more burn zones in Lahaina. This will be the first time in over 11 weeks those residents can once again set foot on their land. Today and tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., residents with passes will be allowed into zones 4A, B, and C. The areas include Front Street to Olona Place and Akeke Street to Nahale Place. After tomorrow, the areas will open up to area residents with a pass or ID. And on Monday, zones 9H, 9I, and 9J will reopen. The areas include streets between Ka'akolu and Kahena streets, including Ka'alo Place. Vehicle passes will be required for access the first 2 days. Visiting hours will be from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And today is the deadline for owners of cars left burned in Lahaina. The county is requesting info to help identify each vehicle. Owners who fill out a burned vehicle form by today can receive assistance with their desired management options. We're told if the deadline passes, unidentified cars could be removed and recycled. For more information, head to mauirecovers.org. Meanwhile, owners of burned electric and hybrid vehicles are being warned not to attempt to start, work on, or sit in the vehicle. They say fire-damaged EVs and hybrid vehicles are likely to be very dangerous. A removal plan for those vehicles is being worked on. And the EPA says 85% of hazardous waste on burned properties in Lahaina has been removed. Crews are also applying a soil stabilizer to the ground to prevent the spread of toxic ash in the area. They have not been able to enter any apartment buildings so far because of safety issues and the amount of debris. Meanwhile, Maui County Council members are working to address residents' concerns about the cleanup and recovery efforts in Lahaina. Tamara Paulton, who represents West Maui, says she was worried about the safety of children returning to school near toxic burn sites. She also shared frustration over the area's full reopening to visitors on November 1st. She also expressed regret that recommendations made after fires in previous years went largely ignored. They held a press conference yesterday.
I definitely have a huge regret that Lahaina burnt down and that, so many people lost their lives. I did try to follow up. Ultimately, the multiple conversations that I had with folks, I am not the authority over them. It's the Fire and Public Safety Commission.
Paulton and Council Chair Alice Lee said long-term housing is a big priority after hearing that displaced residents are being constantly moved. And now to consumer news. Pressure cookers sold by Best Buy and Amazon are being recalled due to a burn risk. 930,000 units sold between October 2017 and June 2023 are affected. They are the Insignia pressure cookers. The pressure cooker has incorrect volume markings on the inner pot, which can cause users to overfill the pot, and that could lead to hot foods and liquids shooting out when the cooker is being vented, and it poses a serious burn hazard. So far, Best Buy has received various reports of incidents, 17 of which were burn injuries. Contact your place of purchase and you can get a free replacement pot and locking valve. Let's go ahead now and send you outside for a live look at our traffic. This is our live camera at the intersection of Likelike and Kahekili. No major traffic incidents on the road right now to tell you about, which is a good thing on this beautiful Aloha Friday. Stick with us right after this break and we'll be telling you about Hurricane Otis, which made landfall in Acapulco and caused major destruction. Also, Guy Hagi will have your first alert forecast right after this. Well, one of Mexico's most famous resort cities has been devastated after Hurricane Otis slammed through the area as a Category 5 system. It landed near Acapulco Wednesday, killing at least 27 people. Enrique Acevedo has more.
Survivors of the strongest hurricane to hit the eastern Pacific wander the streets of Acapulco, peeking through what's left of their homes and businesses.
Ya no quedó nada. No.
Necesitamos que nos ayuden.
Residents are frustrated that 48 hours after devastating rain and sustained winds of 165 miles per hour crumpled buildings and flooded streets, authorities haven't accomplished more.
Yo tuve que ir a mover todo allá para que podamos movernos aquí y ellos ahí en bola platicando.
Mexico's President Andrés Manuel López Obrador said Hurricane Otis toppled every power line pole in the area Wednesday, leaving 500,000 homes without electricity, and also brought down Acapulco's municipal water system.
Fue muy desastroso lo que padeció Acapulco. Lo que aquí se dice no tiene precedente.
Looters were seen breaking into stores as many residents struggled with a lack of basic supplies. Acapulco's Diamond Zone, an oceanfront tourist hub, was turned into a debris field with windows blown out of beachfront hotels. With local airports closed, stranded tourists have been relying on buses to get out of the region. Enrique Acevedo, Acapulco, Mexico.
The best chance for rain over on Kauai this weekend. You see that weak front? Watch as it dissipates as it gets close to Kauai. Doesn't affect the rest of the island chain. So Kauai over the weekend likely to get a few of those showers, but not a lot of rain when you add it all up. So for the next 7 days, we're going to see this. We're going to see the best weather on the planet. We're going to start out with clear skies every morning, and then in the afternoon, because of the light winds, we'll get some clouds building up over the interior spots, and they might spawn a few pop-up showers, but widespread rain just not expected. Now, the trade winds will come in tomorrow, but they'll be running slow too. So still slightly humid, but slightly less humid than it's going to be today. It's going to be pretty sticky today. And those light trade winds will continue into Halloween. So Halloween is looking really, really nice out there. But remember, there will likely be some afternoon clouds and perhaps a few spotty showers. Again, widespread rain not expected.
Time to take a look at some news from the feeds. Security cameras captured a guard's close encounter with a bear at a Colorado hotel kitchen. Take a look at this. People reported seeing the bear inside the kitchen of the St. Regis Aspen Resort Monday night. When a security guard went to check, he surprised the bear, which took a swipe at him. The guard wasn't seriously hurt. Wildlife officials say the bear entered the hotel from a courtyard, passing through several doors to reach the kitchen. Unfortunately, they had to euthanize the bear. And your favorite instant ramen cup of noodles is going green. For the first time in 50 years, Nissin Foods USA says its cup noodles will get new packaging. Starting next year, the cups will no longer be made from styrofoam. They will be made from paper, which is more environmentally friendly. The change also means that the ramen can finally cook in the microwave, which eliminates the need for boiling water. Don't worry, Cup of Noodles' recognizable logo and packaging won't change, but the plastic wrap around the cups will also be switched out for sleeves made from recycled paper. Now, I know so many people here in Hawaii have long microwaved their cup of noodles, even though they probably shouldn't. Well, with Halloween right around the corner, it is the busiest time of the year for a massive costume retailer located in Minnesota. Heidi Wigdahl has their story.
This is the time of year when a month's worth of work happens in a day. The company behind Fun.com and HalloweenCostumes.com does 90% of its business in October, from North Mankato to 90 countries across the world.
I think it's inspiration from my mom, who was a seamstress growing up, and we always had the best costumes as kids, so we want to provide that to everyone else in the world.
Executive Vice President Julie Fallenstein says her parents' love for Halloween was passed down to her and her siblings. Handmade costumes collected over the years.
And my sister and I, who were in college, were like, we'll take them, we'll try to rent them when we're in college. So out of our college garage, we kind of started opening up just on the weekends.
Then her brother Tom jumped in, taking the business online.
It was so busy that there wasn't a break in the ring. So it just continually just ring. It never stopped, so we had to unplug the phones.
It eventually led to the creation of Fun.com and HalloweenCostumes.com. The business is now the world's largest online-only costume retailer.
This one is Tangled's Rapunzel.
Diana Lingholm, Director of Creative Services, says they offer more than 15,000 costumes.
Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
About half are their own designs you won't find anywhere else.
So they actually created the print artwork for this, and this is officially licensed by Disney.
They sell about 6 million costumes each year.
Amazing to see all of those costumes there. Well, now we have a very special guest here, Emily Cristobal.
Hi.
Aloha, Emily. She's here to tell us, to announce the finalists of our 3rd annual This Is Now costume contest. Emily, what we got?
Yes, we got some really good costumes coming up, and starting off strong with the King's Hawaiian Rolls Baby. Isn't that so cute? Followed by some aunties on a roller coaster, or I like to say a tutu train.
Yes, the tutu train.
Edward Scissorhands is a classic Halloween costume. And look at this, a viral Stanley tumbler. And Pirates of the
Ohana,
Caribbean.
yes, a whole family
Pirates of
group.
the Caribbean and his other pirates, yes.
This piñata, I love.
I know, and that's all handmade too. And these are our 6 finalists.
Amazing. So what we're going to do now is we are going to throw these images on our Hawaii News Now Instagram page, and we need your vote to determine who the winner will be. We're going to announce them next week because Halloween is already practically here. So keep an eye out for all of this on the HNN Instagram page and vote for your favorite by liking this picture.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone.
Aloha.